I'm Aaron,
I'm Alex.
and we're two in the booth. Welcome into this week's podcast edition. Lots to talk about. We're going to talk about something fun. We're going to talk about something going on with World Baseball Classic. The playoff field is set, and this weekend got a lot of interesting and exciting matchups, intriguing matchups even. And then, last week we did the Daily Walkoff, and if time allows, we'll do one of those again this week. It'll be Alex's turn to be on the hot seat. And so lots of good things going on this week with Two in the Booth. First, we here at Two in the Booth love from our perch above the stadium. One of the things that we love about the baseball experience is the giveaways. Go to a ballpark and you can get, a large jersey that fits nobody except maybe your father-in-law that you can't stand, or you get an ill-fitting hat, or you get a cooler, or, there's all sorts of other bobbleheads are, I think, the most popular ballpark giveaway. But I thought it would be interesting just for us to what would be some stadium giveaways that if you were going to a baseball game and you show up and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you're one of the first 15,000 fans, grab one of these." You're like, "Dude, this is amazing."
Yeah.
Thoughts, Alex?
So this is just coming to my head right now, and if I don't know, I want to trademark this, but I think it would be super cool if Major League Baseball could catch the vision for little figurines of players where the head is kind of on a spring of sorts, and it bobbles around, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Like a bobblehead doll. No, I'm just kidding. That's already been invented, and this isn't 1990, so we're not coming up things with real time. So every team has what they call like Bark in the Park night. And I think that all 30 Major League Baseball teams should partner with their local humane societies. And if you're the last 15,000 people to show up, you get it. You have to take a dog home. Not the first 15,000 people to show up, but the last 15,000 people. Like, you have to take an abandoned dog home for Bark in the Park night.
almost like one of those penalties from like Dude Perfect, where they had the that's unfortunate, and they had to go
Yes.
pick up a dog from the pound.
You know the scene, and I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this stuff because we're not it's public stuff. It's public record here. But like when, Andy Bernard on The Office, goes to the fundraiser and he ends up taking all the dogs home that are all been they all have diseases and different things. And
Yeah.
you could see that. Like, it's Bark in the Park night. And yeah, you're one of the last people to show up, and you don't get to, you have to take a dog home.
Yeah, in order to leave the ballpark,
Yeah,
you have to take a dog with you.
absolutely. And I'm like, I think that would be, not only that, will you do some humanitarian good at the same time? And so that's kind of my not so serious, but kind of, I think, well thought out idea. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I think that's legit. Two ideas that came to my mind, one serious and one facetious. We all know that littering can be a problem in many of these cities.
yes.
And I think it would be cool if they offered some kind of a promotion where you bring a bag of trash that you've picked up, and this is something that maybe they hand out and you bring back or something like that. They give you a garbage bag with the team logo on it. Maybe if you're a Miami Marlin or a Colorado Rocky.
Where are we going with this?
You go and you pick up trash around the city, around the ballpark, around, whatever. You bring it back and you get like a free ticket or something like that, just to try and help with the vision of like, okay, let's create a cleaner city, cleaner region. Because sometimes the ballparks in baseball are located in questionable parts of town.
Whoa.
And, this would be a way that we can kind of help things out, help the greater, along the humanitarian lines of what you're talking about. Have some roll-off dumpsters the ballpark brings in. Maybe take some of the bullpen help that day that blows the lead, throw them in there as well. Or, maybe take your front office and throw them in the roll-off dumpster as well. If I'm just thinking of like a team in Baltimore that, kind of was going to swing a trade for a football player and then pulled the rug out. Maybe you throw them in the roll-off dumpster as well. But,
That's a slippery slope, I think, because if you go down that road, then all of a sudden, in exchange for a hot dog, they're going to make you clean a toilet or something like that at the ballpark.
that
And
could
I'm just
I've
saying,
seen enough toilet seats with urine on them to know that
could you
that could be a thing.
could you imagine? And this is a tangent here. Could you imagine if Major League Baseball, or if there was a stadium, or one of the franchises, caught the vision to say, "Hey, we want our bathrooms to operate like Bucky's bathrooms operate."
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know who would do that. Who could?
I could see one of the Texas ball clubs doing that because Bucky's is a Texas franchise.
Yeah.
Here going back to last week's conversation about concessions and things that are needed at
Yes.
ballparks.
Yes.
One of the Texas ballparks needs a Bucky's.
So, imagine like, hey, you're in the fourth inning and you got to use the restroom, and instead of like going and having to hold your breath the whole time you're in the bathroom, like you were able to go in, and it was like you had an attendant, and it was clean, and it was like, don't touch anything, even the sink, don't touch the sink, like, and instead it was just like, oh, here's a mint, and it's really good, like, and it's like, man, that could really take I would pay a premium on a ticket for that sort of an experience, I think.
Maybe that's
And
what they
so-
do in the club level of some of these ballparks. Have Bucky's bathrooms.
So I'm thinking that the CEO of Bucky's and the president of the Texas Rangers need to get together
Absolutely.
and anyway,
Make it happen.
That's a
Make it happen.
tangent, but I just
All right,
think
so
that's good.
so now for my serious ballpark giveaway. Are you familiar with challenge coins?
Challenge coins.
Correct.
I could venture a theory, but I don't think I'm familiar with this. Go ahead. What's a challenge
So
coin?
challenge coin is something that's popular in like law enforcement and armed forces. And it's like
Okay.
it's almost like a silver dollar size or larger coin. And typically it's got like the seal of the agency or the force that's included in it. I had a buddy of mine from college who works in law enforcement. I visited with him a couple of years ago, and he gave me a challenge coin. Like they have a stack of these that they're able to like give out or whatever. And I think it would be cool if some of the stadiums did challenge coins, like have the team logo on one side, and then maybe on the back side, an engraving of the stadium or an engraving of, if they won the World Series recently or something like that. Do a challenge coin. That's something meaningful. It's not flimsy. It's not a bobblehead. And, I think that would be like a real token, pun intended, that you could give away to people coming into the ballpark that would not just retain value, but potentially appreciate in value depending on, uh, the quality of the coin. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff you give away, you collect it, and as soon as you walk out, like it's worth nothing. Um, just garbage. So why
Yeah.
are we giving people garbage? Like, let's give them
it's like
something that's meaningful. Give them a challenge coin.
it's like a new car off the lot. It depreciates in value the second it leaves the parking lot. Yeah, I hear you there. What about this? What about a you remember when we were kids and they had like the plastic they weren't hats, but they were the plastic like helmets, and it was
Like construction helmets or whatever.
you could do something like that, but it was just like a baseball helmet, but it had no
Oh,
ears on it
yeah.
or whatever, and you could just wear it on your head or whatever.
Yep.
What about something like that was queued up, so like it had like some sort of a voice thing here, and when you tapped it, it would go between ball and strike, like ABS
Oh.
challenge, ball, strike, and
Brought to you by T-Mobile.
brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile could sponsor that, give that out in all the different ballparks, and you get your own, ABS sim. There's no good way to say ABS simulator without maybe thinking about other stuff. But ABS simulator right here, you can do that in the comfort of your own home. Like,
Yeah.
oh, ball.
Was it a ball or was it a strike?
Exactly. That could kind of be kind of cool too. So
There we go.
the problem is is I think it's just such like Pandora's box has been wide open with like they just give away everything under the sun. I think we need to narrow the focus, maybe do fewer giveaways, but higher quality giveaways. I think that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
And actually make it, instead of like every day we're giving away something, maybe like, I don't know, in the same way they do City Connect days on Friday or Saturday or whatever it is, like, hey, this is the day, Saturday or Sunday afternoon, that's giveaway day at the ballpark. And there's only so many of them, and they're higher quality items.
So there is a thing called getaway day at the park, and that is when the home team
Yeah.
is getting ready to go on the road. So
Yep.
maybe getaway day becomes getaway day.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. No, I think
We're
that
just
would be.
spitballing ideas, trying to make the end product a little bit more palatable for the user.
These are all free ideas,
Yeah,
and unless someone wants to compensate us for them, we're good to go. So
that's
I
right.
think this
That's
would be
right.
great. So
Now, another thing that has been fun to watch for the end user experience, and we're through the quote unquote pool play now. World Baseball Classic. Before we
yes,
get into what is to come, I do want to get your thoughts on several things that happened in the WBC leading up to this point. One of the big storylines has been Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena's handshake, no handshake, go put it where the sun don't shine, cold shoulder, oh, I'm all offended thing between those two Seattle Mariner teammates.
yeah.
Thoughts?
I think it's much ado about nothing. I think there's
Shakespeare.
been, yeah, I think they're going to figure it out. I think the pageantry and the emotions are running high. The nationalism is at a fever pitch right now.
Yep.
That game. In particular, that United States Mexico game in particular, it didn't start out like high temp. I mean, the U.S. was up 5-0 pretty quick, but then they what's his face, Jaron Duran had to hit the game of his life. Kind of bring in Mexico all the way back almost. And I think things were a little tense there. I think Mexico really wanted to win that game. They want to win all the games, but they really wanted to win that game. And
They ain't winning any more games.
no, they're not. And so I don't know. They'll figure it out. Randy Arozarena is Cal Raleigh, big dumper will make peace. So I'm just not too concerned about it. But
All right. The other thing, well, a couple other things to get your thoughts on. Thoughts on the pitch limits that have been in play for starters. So, in pool play, it was 65 pitches. I think in this next round, it gets to 75. And then I think in the like semifinals and finals, it goes to 85. Thoughts on that? I know there's been a lot of talk about that.
It's like watching the Little League World Series, and it's not great. I think you're missing out on a moment where, just for example, now again, not every team has the same amount of pitching depth as everybody else. Not everybody's on the same level.
Yep.
However, as we narrow down the field to the final four, pitching's going to get a higher quality. And I think you want to leave the door open. Like, how cool is the story? Like, if Paul Skeens is like, I'm going to go the distance tonight, or I'm going to go 8 innings tonight, and I'm going to put the Team USA on my back, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to pitch a gem. And again, you just kind of miss out on that because it's like, nope, you get 80 pitches, and if you're not efficient, you're going to be out in the 5th inning, and then we're going to bring in Griffin Jacks, to bridge the gap. And it's like, that just doesn't.
Brad Keller.
Yeah, it doesn't really. It's not quite the narrative storyline I think we're hoping for in the World Baseball Classic. So you're missing out on that sort of a story for somebody to say like, "Hey, I'm going to put the team on my back." Who is, this is. It feels like it's a rule that's in place. It's called the Tarek Skubal rule. And it's ironic because this rule is in place and he's not even going to be pitching in these rounds. So it's like, what's the point? So,
Yeah.
and again, like, I think to put to actually have a rule in place seems unnecessary because guys are already policing their pitch limits.
Yeah.
So what's the point of having a rule?
Yep.
You're just missing out on again, you just kind of get caught up with the emotion of like, man, can you imagine you're in the 6th, 7th inning and Skeens is still, just mowing people down, and he's kind of got that like stone cold look, and he's just, it's just like, oh man, like that's good. I mean, that's good television right there.
Well, and even, not just for Team USA, but like Team Italy the last couple nights. Michael Lorenzen has been dealing. He's shut out the stacked USA baseball team. Last night, Aaron Nola, as we're recording this, Aaron Nola and Italy faced Mexico last night. He was pretty good through 5, and he had 64 pitches going into his last batter, and made him ground out. And you're just like, man, like he could have kept going. And I think it just goes back to that, the analytics versus the gut. And in this situation, you're taking the ability for the manager to go with his gut out of the equation with the pitch limit.
Well, and not only that, you're putting some of these other teams at a disadvantage because the bullpens aren't nearly as deep. And so if you can get another inning or two out of a quality starter, and regardless, wherever Michael Lorenzen ranks in quality starters, he's a major league professional pitcher that's been in the league for a decade. So it's like he knows how to go 100 pitches.
Threw a no-hitter for the Phillies a couple years ago.
Absolutely. So it's like it's I don't know. I can see it. I can see an argument being made for the best teams in the tournament, and an argument being made for like the lesser teams in the tournament as the tournament progresses and as the games get higher leverage. Hey, the people say, the players say it in the post-game interviews. The umpires talk about it. It's playoff baseball in the month of March.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though if the playoffs had like, hey, by the way, in the wild card round, it's a 65 pitch limit for the pitchers? That would kind of stink. Anyway, so it's it's interesting.
Any other storylines or things stick out to you from what we saw in pool play of the WBC?
Absolutely. How stupid are the Americans? Like, how stupid are the Americans? Mark DeRosa, in my opinion, is done as the manager of Team USA. Like, he's done.
I think if they don't win it this year, he's done.
Well, again, they should have missed. They should have been eliminated last night, and today's Thursday, because that would have been terribly ironic if Mexico had won, and Mexico had won like 3-2 or something like that, or whatever it was. They would have been eliminated, and they would have went home, all because the whole team, starting with Mark DeRosa on down, thought they had clinched a spot in the out rounds or in the tournament play or whatever. They because they beat Mexico. And so what did they do? The whole team, Mark DeRosa, then went and talked about it. They went and they like, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to party. And some guys, took the party from the streets. They took it back into the hotel. And, he said, hey, yeah, guys showed up today and they were dragging. They were hungover. And they sent guys out there who the lineup that was out there for the game against Italy, the pitching that was out there for the game against Italy, and they're all playing the game like, oh, yeah, we've made it. Did you not read the rules and how advancement works in this tournament?
Yeah.
Not only that, but you go out there and, as far as and maybe they do win the tournament. I don't think there's a chance that the Team USA wins this tournament. They just don't seem to be locked in.
Yeah.
And you went out there and you got, up until the last 2 innings, you got shellacked by Team Italy. And so I'm like, I don't know, Mark DeRosa, I'm kind of done with him. You kind of go back, the year the USA did win the tournament, you had Jim Leland, at the helm. And it's that just hits different than Mark DeRosa. And, I'm not watching late night MLB TV or whatever. And so I don't need Mark DeRosa's take on everything. Like how he ended up in the seat, like that's a mystery. And now it's like, yeah, you almost, somehow you dodged it, but you almost had like the greatest,
meltdown.
People globally, like how arrogant are Americans? And you're like, this is the sort of stuff that gives America a bad reputation.
Yep,
And so
very much so.
I'm just like, come on, man, you got to do better. And I don't know. You've got it. You're going to go out here in the quarterfinals, and you're going to play a very, I'm sure, very motivated Canadian team to beat Team USA. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It'll be good TV, I think. But I'm like,
It might revert to hockey. Who knows?
it might. I mean, because there's the layers of that, right? Like Canada, the Canadian baseball teams, like we're defending Canadian honor because like we lost the gold medal game. And, who knows? Maybe Team USA thinks they've already made the finals. Maybe. And you're like, that's crazy to think, but it's like, well, based on what happened against Team Italy, maybe they think they've already advanced.
They know they've already qualified for the next WBC because they're the host country. So, boom, there you go. Winning. Yeah, it's good. I didn't write that snafu down in my book, but yeah, I was like, dude, seriously? Like, how tuned out as a manager do you have to be to make that kind of a statement? And not just like, make it amongst your other coaches, but like you say it on MLB TV.
Yeah, you said it in multiple interviews. And so you're like, because it would be one thing to speculate. They played like they thought.
Yeah.
Clinched. And then they're like, no, Mark DeRosa's on record in 3 separate interviews saying, yep, we clinched. We're going to take the game seriously, even though we've clinched.
Which basically means no, they're not.
You got to go and look at the standings, Mark. Sometimes they'll put an X next to your name once you've clinched, and there was no X next to your name. So like,
it's very true.
It's baseball 101 here, Mark. So
all right. So we've kind of touched on Italy. They've been a really great feel-good story. We touched on USA, some of the bumbling that's taken place there. Israel, unsurprisingly, not making it to the next round.
Those guys
Britain
got drafted into the war effort, I think, so they got to get back.
Great Britain not making it into the next round. Any other storylines from pool play that you were like, oh man, like this was just great?
It's. I think you had the game. In the pool where Korea clinched. Like you had the perfect. Like it was almost the anti whatever was going on with Team USA in Game 4. Like you had the Koreans locked in not only to like they needed the win, but they needed the margin. And like when the game reached a certain mark, like they knew like, okay, we're going to advance. And again, like I think it's just like, I don't know, just kind of models for us like East versus West discipline or whatever. And I think it's kind of sad that Korea and the Dominican Republic are going to play each other in round 1 of the quarterfinals here. Because both those teams have played pretty well. So I mean, the Dominican Republic, they're a wagon. They might win the whole thing. Korea probably won't win the whole thing, but you'd like to see them maybe get a chance. Both those teams a chance to get to the semifinals.
Yep.
And only one team's going to make it. But it's lining up. I'm not convinced. I mean, Team USA will probably find a way to win on Friday against Canada, but I think the Dominican Republic will have their way with Team USA. But again, the other takeaway I have is, and I think I said this last time. I think we were doing this last time we were in the World Baseball Classic. Central American teams, South American teams just have more fun playing baseball than like everybody else.
The atmosphere in Puerto Rico was awesome.
Cool. So cool. And again, like just the spirit of the Venezuelan team, the spirit of the Dominican Republic team, Puerto Rico, like these are they're fun team. Like they're great.
Yep.
And they're having fun.
Yep.
Team USA seems like they're taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
And then you have the Asian teams, which again, they're just kind of just locked in as it is, just as a culture or whatever.
There's like, okay, we kill you enough.
Exactly right, but you're like Dominican Republic, man. They're just having fun.
Well, and then there's the Italians with the espresso machine, and you're like,
guys are just jacked. Maybe you just
need a pizza. Maybe you need a brick oven pizzeria in that dugout as well. Not to stereotype ridiculously, but like, a shot of espresso and a slice of, or personal pan pizza. Like maybe that's all you're missing. All right, so you kind of alluded to it. We got 4 quarterfinal matchups
Yes.
taking place over the weekend. Korea, Dominican Republic, and you're on record as saying you think Dominican Republic's going to beat Korea.
Yeah, I think it could be a good baseball game, though. And but I think the Dominican Republic, I mean, they should run all the way to the championship, but we'll see. So,
All right, so
and stuff.
So the DR advancing in that quarterfinal. The other quarterfinal, we have Italy versus Puerto Rico. I almost said Purdue because their abbreviations are PUR.
Got
Puerto
March
Rico
Madness.
and Italy.
Yeah, I think Italy wins that game. I think Italy's been, and Puerto Rico, they've played some close games. I think Italy's like the feel-good story of the tournament here.
Yeah.
I think they'll find a way to win that game. Yeah, I do, which will make it a cakewalk for Japan, but it'll be good though. I think, yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
I like that match. I like that matchup for Italy.
All right, I agree with you so far. Dominican Republic, Italy beating Puerto Rico. USA versus Canada.
So here's the thing, right? And I'm as American as the next man. However, Paul Skeens is their whole team for the semifinal round, right? So it's gonna be Logan Webb, I think, tomorrow night. Or Friday.
That sounds about right.
It'll be Logan Webb tomorrow night.
Yep.
I have to believe we live in a world where like pretentiousness isn't rewarded, and I think in like a, I think so that Mark DeRosa can be canned, like unequivocally. I think Canada's going to win the game.
What?
I think so. But
man,
if Team USA does win, it's Paul Skeens, which will be the X factor against the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, dude.
Is what I'm saying. But yeah, anyway.
So you're taking Canada, but you're hoping you get to see Paul Skeens pitch again.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like, it's like for the storyline, I think Canada's going to win because I think it'd just be hilarious if Canada won and you had, this should be Tarek Skubal's game. Oh, no.
He would slate for the final. He would slate for the final.
Excuse me. No. Tarek Skubal should be the semifinal matchup because in order it was Logan Webb, Tarek Skubal, then Paul Skeens.
True.
And so now they're going to have to pitch Paul Skeens in the semifinal round.
Yep.
And piece it together in the finals.
Nolan McLean and company.
Exactly. And so it's like somehow this tournament ends. It has to end with Mark DeRosa and Tarek Skubal like wearing the clown noses. Like this is how this ends. And so if it ends Friday night that way, if it ends Sunday night that way, or next Tuesday, whatever. But I'm going to take Canada. I think Canada's going to be Team USA.
All right, now for the good one. So I'm taking Team USA, obviously. Here's the up in the air 50-50, who knows, could go either way, at least in my opinion. Venezuela, Japan.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50 on paper. I think Japan will win this game.
Really?
Yeah. Of all the teams, it's like okay. Saying what I said a minute ago, South American, Central American teams have more fun playing baseball. I think the Venezuelans have too much fun.
Okay.
And so, I want Venezuela. I would root for Venezuela. I like Venezuela, like Ronald Acuna Jr. I do. And I think they got a lot of star power, but I just, for some, Japan just always finds a way. They find a way. But yeah, I'm going to take Japan in that game.
All right, so I did some
as a U.S. protectorate. Venezuela winning would be a good story.
So you are taking Japan?
Yes.
I'm taking Venezuela.
Nice.
In addition to Ronald Acuna Jr., you also got William Contreras and Salvador Perez. Oh, by the way, don't forget Luis Arias has found his power stroke in the WBC, as he always does. You got Eugenio Suarez, who has yet to show up to this game. And you got Jackson Churio.
That's true.
Bro.
That's true. And I'm just going to go back. My evidence is I'm going to bring is like, I think in the Little League World Series, Japan is like 100-0 against South American teams.
Well,
So
is Venezuela a South American team or a Central American team? Because that makes a difference.
South American team. South.
Okay.
They're on the continent.
By the way, Miguel Cabrera is their hitting coach. So
he is not their hitting coach. He's a hitting consultant.
It says on the official Venezuelan roster, Miguel Cabrera, hitting coach.
All right. I believe you. That doesn't help me. But yes, okay, I see what you're saying.
Hitting coach. Maybe he's the assistant to the hitting coach. Maybe he's the assistant hitting coach. We don't really know. But he's that.
Who cuts down the nets? That's the question. Who cuts down the nets? Next Tuesday. Who's cutting down the nets?
All right, so your 4 are Italy,
yes,
Japan,
yes,
Canada, DR.
Yes.
So DR, Canada, who you got?
Okay, so DR, Canada, I got the DR. If it's Team USA,
no. You picked Canada, so you're taking DR in the finals versus Japan.
Yes.
Winner is
Dominican Republic.
Well, unless Paul Skeens pitches in the semifinal.
Yeah, unless Paul Skeens pitches in the semifinal. And then we find out Paul Skeens is actually born in Manitoba. And he goes out there and suits up for Team Canada.
There you go. Snap. The whole plot just totally turns upside down. All right, so I've got Italy, Venezuela, USA, DR.
Yeah.
I think Venezuela beats Italy.
Okay.
So they get into the finals, and I think DR takes down USA.
You think DR takes down Paul Skeens?
Because Paul Skeens can't pitch the whole game. And at some point, it's got to get turned over to the bullpen. And Team
USA has shown that they don't score runs in the first 5 innings.
When you have David Bednar and Brad Keller as 2 of your legit bullpen options, I just feel I'm flashing back to last year's Phillies before they acquired Jahan Duran. And you're just like, okay, so we got to the 7th inning without allowing a run. We got to get to the end of the 9th inning. Like, it's not over till the umpires walk off the field. And so, yeah, I think it's DR, Venezuela in the final. And I'll say DR.
So you have 2 like Latin American teams in the final. In Miami, that's going to be absolutely insane.
Personally, I think there needs to be some immigration and customs enforcement officers outside the ballpark. And, you talk about the last 15,000 fans having to take a dog home. Make sure you bring your green cards, folks.
That would be a stain on the World Baseball Classic if ICE made it about themselves.
Well, you never know. We're all about opportunistic things around here. So, so I got DR. We both have DR winning, just in various circumstances. All right. Do you want to do Daily Walkoff?
Sure, why not? Let's do Daily Walkoff. All
right, let's try and make it quick. So we got 1970s top 3 RBI, top 6 stolen bases.
Yep.
2020's top 3 RBI, top 6 stolen bases. The team of record is the Miami Marlins. You ready?
All right.
Just kidding. We're going to do Detroit Tigers.
All right. I was like, okay, we're going to play this up here. All right, let's do this.
All right. So 70s top 3 RBI, top 6 stolen bases. 2020's top 3 RBI, top 6 stolen bases. All right.
Yeah.
Riley Green, Dan Meyer, Ben Oglivie, Oglivie, Oglivie.
Yeah.
Javi Baez.
Yeah.
Ron LaFleur.
Yeah.
Aurelio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Willie Horton.
Yeah.
Nico Goodrum.
Yeah.
Akil Baddoo.
Okay.
Parker Meadows.
All right. Nico Goodrum, 2020 top 6 stolen bases.
Okay.
You said Akil Baddoo. He's also top 6 stolen bases, 2020.
Okay. So it's 2020s. So
2020s.
2020 to current. Yep.
2020s, yeah. You said Riley Green. He's top 3 RBIs in 2020s.
Okay. All right.
Who are the other guys?
You got
there was a notable two notable names.
Javi Baez, Spencer Torkelson.
Okay, those two guys
Parker
are RBIs.
Meadows.
Those guys are RBIs. Parker Meadows is top 6 stolen bases. The Tigers are terrible at stealing bases. And so I'm not surprised if Akil Baddoo has like 8 stolen bases in the 2020s and he's like in the top here. Like I would not be shocked.
Hilarious.
It's the 70s where it's tough. You said Willie Horton.
Willie
top 3 RBIs in the 70s.
Okay.
A lot. I've only heard, I think, of the names you've mentioned. The only other name I've actually heard of is Rusty Staub.
Yep.
Which makes me think top 3 RBIs.
Okay. So you got Ben Oglivie, Aurelio Rodriguez, Ron LaFleur, and Dan Meyer.
Okay, I think I've heard of Ron LaFleur. So maybe do him in RBIs and put the other 3 guys in the stolen bases.
All right. So we got Willie Horton, Rusty Staub, Ron LaFleur for top 370s RBI. Dan Meyer, Ben, whatever his last name is, Aurelio Rodriguez, top 6 stolen bases in the 70s. Riley Green, Torkelson, Javi Baez, top 3 RBI. Nico Goodrum, Akil Baddoo, Parker Meadows, top 6 stolen bases.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. You got a double. And you got 2 right in 70s top 3 RBIs and 2 right in top 6 stolen bases in the 70s. And you aced your 20s, your 2020 RBI and stolen bases. So we should just need to flip Aurelio Rodriguez and Ron LaFleur, and you got
another double,
a walk-off double.
Okay. All right.
Not bad.
Not bad for not knowing who Aurelio Rodriguez is. That sounds like a guy who starred in Mighty Ducks.
Maybe. Well,
Emilio Estevez.
We'll be back next week with who knows what kind of daily walk-off for who knows what kind of team. Who knows who the winner of World Baseball Classic will be, and who knows what we're going to be looking forward to before opening day.
We got predictions
boy. Yeah, we got to start nailing down Cy Youngs and MVPs and everything that we're sure to get wrong.
Absolutely.
We got to go on the record and make sure that we let everybody know how wrong we're going to be. And until next week,
we're out of here.